Well, good hello everybody. I am in Madrid right now, and I am heading to Parque De Atracciones. I made a last minute decision to come to this park on this day. The original day I was supposed to come, it's forecasted to rain all day, so looks like I had to make a last minute change at like 5 a.m. this morning. So I'm a little late. But yeah, here we are. And we are in. Doesn't seem too busy here. Granted, I went in the smaller entrance, which is by the train station. They have a more grand entrance further up, which is by the car park. But so far, this place looks nice. Very nicely landscaped. Lots of trees. Coming in was kind of barren. They had a lot of like, what's it called? A lot of like empty lots basically. So we're just like walking through an empty lot outside of the train station, between the train station and the park entrance. But it looks pretty nice. That speaker is blown up there. But yeah, let's go on. I did buy the Speedy Pass, which is their fast pass, just because I don't know if I want to stay here all day. Just because I might want to eat dinner outside of the park. They have better food options out there. So yeah. So here's a Paw Patrol ride, roller coaster. There is a mine train over here that looks pretty cool. But this is nice. I love this. They have a little Nickelodeon area here. Loved all the SpongeBob stuff. I got sandy cheeks. Okay, so this Wild Mouse is not on the Fast Pass, or their Speedy Pass is what they call it here. So I'm going to try to hit this one up first. And then there's another spinning coaster further up that is also not on the Speedy Pass. So I'm going to hit these two up first, and then move on to all the Speedy Pass rides. Also, gorgeous day. Barely any clouds in the sky. So this is interesting. They actually have the queue all set up in this switchbacks down here, but then these switchbacks they're not using at all. Granted, I bet this is like the guests have caused the line to come out straight down there. Also, I think they load really weird here. The line like doesn't move, so I think they wait until all the trains are back in the station, then they load them all up, and then they dispatch all of them, and then they unload them all, or something like that. Like, it's not a continuous loading. But yeah, it's a pretty long line, especially for a Wild Mouse. Alright, so one good thing about this queue is that they're not using all the switchbacks, so it's not as bad as it originally was thought. I do like the theming here. The shade is nice, and the rock work on the poles are nice. But judging by the rate I'm going, it'll probably be over an hour to ride this ride, which will be the longest I've ever waited for a Wild Mouse. But gotta get that credit. Alright, got off of Vertigo. Not bad. I mean, it's got some good pops of air. But other than that, I waited about a little over an hour for it. Anyway, oh, they got some spiral potatoes here. Interesting. Anyway, off to go find something else to ride. Probably gonna hit up Tarantula, which is the other spinning coaster that does not have the Speedy Pass on it. Also, one interesting thing about the Speedy Pass is that after you ride, you have to wait 15 minutes to ride again. I think that means your next ride, like if you want to re-ride a ride. But I don't know how they would enforce that unless they recognize you or something, because I don't see a barcode on this thing or anything like that. Anyway, I don't know what this thing is, but it looks really familiar. So this is their main entrance for their parking lot. You got a great view of the fountains that are currently not working, and some construction, and their Starflyer right in the middle. It looks pretty cool though. And they have a little Zeppelin ride thing, kind of like a suspended monorail thing that looks pretty awesome. But yeah, so far this park looks pretty nice, very well kept. And the operations for the drop tower are pretty quick. I'm excited to go on this sky loop thing, which is Abismo. But I need to hit up Tarantula first. I like the little spiderweb theming they have here for Tarantula. Also, I think this is a suspended Tarantula dark ride, but it hasn't been operating for a while. Looks really old. Yeah, definitely old. There's like crap all over here. Looks pretty cool. I love the theming of the entrance over here. So this coaster looks like it's more continuous loading as opposed to that Wow Mouse. That's good. I also love the theme, the street lights they have here. Themed to like the tarantula legs. So I just finished Tarantula. It is pretty fun. There's a little cover right over there that's like red and white stripes that kind of ruins the theming of the scary tarantula. Also, coming into the final breakaway right here, when you rotate back to the original position, it slams you hard. It is funny to watch people's reactions as it slams you back into the regular loading position. But yeah, so far that was a pretty good coaster. That was not bad at all. Anyway, on to the next. Well, this is fun. They have a Domino's pizza here. Looks like you could order from the kiosk or order from the machine, or order from people, I mean. There's a disco in the back. One of those condor type rides here. A log flume. And there's the Intamin full circuit suspended coaster. And an Eiffel Tower. Has some like random people eating their picnic lunch in the grass right over here. But I'm excited to ride this. This is my first Intamin invert that is not a one of those impulse coasters. So let's go. This vertical loop has so many supports. It's like it's over-engineered. Alright, speedy pass to the rescue. Let's do this. Well, that wasn't bad. Sat in the front seat. It had a little bit of a head banging, but not as bad as like a regular SLC. from Vekoma. Also, sitting in the front, they had there was nobody sitting next to me. So when they put down the over-the-shoulder restraints, they didn't buckle it in. Granted, the buckle was on the side, so like it was away from me. So, but still, it was a free-flowing buckle flying around, and it's a pretty forceful ride, but not as bad as like, you know, a Batman clone or anything like that. But yeah, overall, that was a fun coaster. A little bit of headbanging. Don't know if I could marathon this over and over again, but pretty solid addition. It's a little rough, but not terrible. Don't come in expecting like a Banshee, you know, where it feels like a smooth as glass B&M invert, but not bad. Anyway, on to the next. Okay, I love this. They go around spraying people because it's so hot. This is hilarious. That's amazing. Also, that was listed as entertainment for this park, which is hilarious. Alright, it is time for some Abismo. Also, look at this little Schwarzkopf coaster here. I guess this is what used to be here. Anyway, onward. Okay, Abismo was incredible. I sat in the front row, pretty smooth. What's really awesome is when you're up top, when you go upside down, you get some hang time, but then you're overlooking the whole city of Madrid, but upside down. And then when you start flipping back over and then flipping again, you can just see the city just go flip twice. That was insane. Very smooth, great airtime, amazing airtime right there. And then coming into the station, there is a little like bunny hill that goes down into the station before you go back up and then slowly goes down. That was an awesome moment of airtime right there. And I saw an area where there were trim brakes, but they were removed, so you just fly into that station. That was an incredible ride. Very insane. Very good. This is their highlight of the park. Amazing ride. I need to get a back row ride next. Here come the spray people again. This is amazing. Ooh, that feels amazing though. That feels incredible. What the heck is this? It's an Aladdin bachelor party. I have no idea what this is. I think it may be like a 3D show or something. I have no idea. I gotta ride this though, I think, maybe. This thing looks weird and wacky as heck. Looks like a simulator. I gotta ride this thing. Anyway, I rode the drop tower. Pretty nice, great views of Madrid. Also, it is funny riding with like Spanish people because they're like, "Oh, adios, mios," you know, the entire ride. It was hilarious. Anyway, let's see what this is. Okay, Aladdin bachelor party is hilarious and so cheesy. So what happens is you wake up in the middle of a desert. I guess this was after the bachelor party, Aladdin's bachelor party. And all of a sudden, Jasmine calls on his cell phone, but then Genie's like, you know, let's get you out of here. We gotta go to the wedding or something like that. And then you fly through the desert, you fly through the cave, and Genie's like teleporting you to the under the ocean. You get chased by a shark, and then he teleports you and the shark into like Everest, and then you're in Everest, and like the shark falls, you know, and then you're like sliding down the mountain. And then you fly through like a Tibetan village. Then he teleports you into Agrabah, so you're flying around Agrabah in the palace. And then you see like Jasmine mad, and then Genie like changes Aladdin's shirt, you know, into a nicer like wedding attire, I guess. And then you see Jasmine mad, and then they go into a room. They close the door. Genie turns into a Secret Service person, like not letting anybody in. And that was the end. It was the wackiest, weirdest, terrible CGI show ever. and the motion simulator like barely moved much. It just kind of shook around, but that was it. It was awesome cheese factor through the roof. I love it. So here we are in the top area where the Star Flyer is. So we have the Jungala, which is like a knockoff Jungle Cruise, which I gotta do, but I gotta do that later. Yeah, the Walking Dead upcharge attraction. That's €5. I'm gonna try to do that. Star Flyer. I think that's it for up here. I don't know. This Zeppelin ride looks pretty cool. Looks like it goes around like pretty much the entire park, gives you a nice tour. It's like the People Mover, but for this park. And instead of like one land, it's like the entire park. Looks pretty chill. Alright, about to do the Walking Dead maze. Pretty well theming out here. We got the music. Got my ticket here. It is €5 upcharge. So I'm pretty excited. I haven't seen the show, but I have been through all of the Horror Nights houses since Halloween Horror Nights 24. So I'm excited to see how it holds up to Halloween Horror Nights. Let's do this. Alright, just did the Walking Dead experience. It's pretty good. Good jump scares in there. It was fun. I love they chase you out with a chainsaw as you're leaving. Oh, there's a on-ride photo in there. Okay, I didn't see myself in the on-ride photo thing, or on-experience photo. But it was pretty nice. They had some areas where the audio could have been turned up louder. It wasn't, they were just like dead moments where nothing was happening, or maybe they were short-staffed. But I was walking and like the audio was on, but it's very soft, you know, but it wasn't very loud. But other than that, it was fun. Nice experience. Got me ready for Halloween Horror Nights. There were a couple scenes that I recognized from the Halloween Horror Nights houses. So that was a nice experience. It was about maybe, I don't know, 5-7 minutes long. So it wasn't very long, but it was still a very good experience. Nice. If it wasn't an upcharge, I would do it again. What kind of sucks is like it's so bright out here that when I actually got in, like my eyes haven't adjusted, so I couldn't really see much. Couldn't really take in the detail and everything. But yeah. Also, I love how there's a tank here, and I guess like the Star Flyer is like a UFO themed ride, so it's like the tank here is here like to guard against the UFO Star Flyer thing. Anyway, let's go back to the kiddie area and ride some more coasters. I think I have 3 more left, and they're all like family or kiddie credits. So let's go. Looks like they have a little huge picnic area here. They have a couple of food areas, but they're all closed. So that's nice. Seems like this park is very open to people bringing their own picnic, their own food and everything. Which is nice, you know. And then random people like laying on the grass. I know that was a French thing. I didn't know that was like a Spanish thing. I remember seeing people doing that in Disneyland Paris a lot. And I don't remember people doing that in like Ventura when I was there. But granted, that was like 6 years ago, so. Oh, interesting. I'm already back at the front of the park that I came in from. So that's nice. I'm debating if I should ride some more rides or get something to eat. It's like almost 3:30 right now. I did eat at like 11. So we'll see. So I decided to get lunch. I got a Coke, some fries, and a theme park steak. I asked for medium rare. We'll see how it is. Looks pretty good. Looks really salty though. Oh, so one more thing I forgot to mention about the Walking Dead experience. I didn't speak any Spanish, so some of the like instructions were in Spanish. So like the first guy, when you talk to you, he actually gives you like a card, like a piece of paper that says like the instructions in Spanish. It was pretty funny because he had like a theme name, so it was like, "Hi, I'm Agent blah blah blah," you know, and then it'd be like, "Don't touch the actors, don't touch, you know, everything, don't run, walk," you know, stuff like that. It was pretty funny. Also, yeah, so there was one point where I was in a in a room, and they had a couple of actors inside the maze, you know, like telling you stuff. Yeah, I didn't know what was going on. And then some lady was like, hey, she started gesturing toward a door, you know, like a gate. So I was like, okay, I guess you want me to go and open the gate and go in. So I started reaching out for the gate, and she's like, stop. And then I looked and turned at her, and then a character came out of that cage, and that was awesome. I guess that little moment of confusion made it scarier, you know. So that was pretty fun. And then she told me to like run out of the room, stuff like that. But yeah, it was good fun. So this restaurant over here, it was really good. Got the steak. It was cooked medium rare, so that was pretty good. It was a little tough. They had lots of fat, a couple areas of fat, but overall really good. The fries were really good because they had, I think it's the way they do fries here in Spain. It's like they are crispy on the outside, but the inside is very like whipped, almost like a mashed potato sort of. So that was really good. Also, they order things really weird here. So you're supposed to come in and find a table, and you have to remember the table number you picked, and then go order. So when you're ordering, you can tell her what table number you're in. So you tell them, guess somebody won the ring toss. Anyway, so then they give you your drink, and then you go to your table, and then you get your food. So that was interesting. But yeah. Alright, just did the TNT Mine Train coaster and the Paw Patrol coaster. So the Paw Patrol coaster, it's janky as heck. Pretty rough. Maybe one of the roughest coasters here. And it went around 3 times, I believe. And I think, if I remember correctly, looking at like the roller coaster database website, I think this used to have the same like coaster trains as the Holodog roller coaster in Holiday World. I don't remember, maybe. Also, the TNT coaster, a lot of fun. It's a Gerstlauer family coaster, similar to Fire Chaser Express in Dollywood, same trains and everything. But it's a fun ride, very smooth, very interesting because like when they're loading it, they have seatbelts as well, while Fire Chaser Express does not have seatbelts, which is kind of weird. But they had a, you know, again, nobody sitting next to me, so they left the buckles, you know, the seatbelt unbuckled, which was interesting. Most places they always buckle it for you. Other than that, it was a fun ride. Very good ride. It sucks how they're all running one train though. Besides the spinning coasters, everything here is one train operation. But yeah, it's a pretty good quality coaster. A lot of fun, very smooth. Little bit of airtime, not too much though. Almost like Expedition Everest levels of airtime, and it like comes to almost to a stop up at the top of the lift hill before it actually goes. Really weird. And there are some trims on that first drop, I believe. No, maybe like the couple drops after. Second drop, there was a trim, but you feel it, but it wasn't like terrible. Also in the Paw Patrol ride, there are some like effects on it, but they weren't working. Like I think some dog is supposed to pop out of a fire hydrant. There's supposed to be like a one of the dogs supposed to like fly around the what's it called, traffic control tower thing. So nothing was working. So next up is the Fairly Odd Parents roller coaster. It's not really a roller coaster, it's more like a whip ride. You go up and you kind of zigzag down. It's like a inverted it's like an inverted Wild Mouse sort of, but not as strong, more like a kiddie coaster. But this is it. Looks really weird. I love it. So I just did the Fairly Odd Parents roller coaster. That was pretty nice. It's pretty fun. Pretty smooth. I was surprised. Thought it'd be a little more janky. So that concludes all of my credits here. So I rode one of everything. What the heck? I don't know if you can see this, but there's a ride up standing on one of the bumper cars. Like driving this kid around. What the heck? So this is more the Nickelodeon area. I love the theming. This is it's kind of mostly like flat rides, but with a cool skin on them. What is this? This is the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles ride. Oh, that's cool. It's a little car ride. This is awesome. So you just kind of go around in little cars driving around. I have never seen a frog harbor like this, where they have it on all four sides. Very interesting. Also, they got a SpongeBob SquarePants house right here. I think this is a meet and greet, but due to COVID, no meet and greet. Doesn't look like it, at least. Also, one thing I've found that they do in this park is that they have hand sanitizer right before you get on any of the rides. So you have to squirt before you get on. And they do enforce it, so it's not like an optional thing. So yeah, I think the first ride I went on, I did not know about this rule, so I just went on. And the ride up didn't say anything, mostly because I was, like, they were calling for a single rider, so I guess she went in and just kind of forgot. Anyway, oh, this is a Jimmy Neutron ride. That's kind of cool. It looks like a magnet pulls you up and then drops you. That's a cool theme. That's like one of the best themed frog hoppers I've seen. That is cool. That's a pretty good frog hopper. I love this elevated train, and it looks like it goes through over all of Nickelodeon land. Oh, I think they have Boots. I think that's his name, from Dora. Okay, I love this. This is a Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy themed ride. That's awesome. And I think I see the glove thing. I think there was a episode of SpongeBob where they go to Glove World. That's what it's called. Yeah, I love this. I love the theming here. This is amazing. This is incredible. And I love that it looks like they have some kind of spinning ride over here with the glove roller coaster on it. This is amazing. This is awesome. They have Plankton and his computer girlfriend. What's it called? The whale thing? Mr. Krabs' daughter, I forgot his name. I think it's Peach the whale, maybe? I don't remember. I love this. And they have a tunnel of glove photo up here. This is awesome. I love that. Looks like they have Mr. Krabs over here with his money. And then these photo ops. I love these photo ops here. This is awesome. I love the theming of this ride. Anyway, I don't want to get wet, so I'm not going to ride it. So the Star Flyer is pretty nice. You get amazing views up there. You can see the whole city of Madrid. Some of the mountains back in the north over there. Pretty nice. Good Star Flyer. One weird thing was they had a control panel like right in the middle. So in order to dispatch, the ride operator has to stand in the middle, push the dispatch button, and then when it goes, it rises up, and as it's rising, the ride operator walks to the control booth. Which was weird, because it's like he's walking in the ride path, but technically He waits till it rises up enough that it doesn't, you know, no one can kick him or anything like that. Very interesting. Pretty cool though. So one interesting thing they have around the park are these little water bottle refilling stations. So you're not supposed to, like, you know, drink out of them, like directly from them, but you can fill your water bottle up with them. Kind of nice, but sucks if you don't have a water bottle. So overall, this park is pretty nice. It's nice and chill. The temperature's not bad. I mean, it's hot, maybe in the 80-90 degree weather. Being in the sun sucks, it's really hot, but when you're in the shade, it feels great. It's a dry heat, so it's not terrible. And there's a light breeze, constant light breeze throughout the entire park, which is really nice. It is sort of on a hill, so this breeze feels amazing. So overall, this park is really nice. The Speedy Pass is really helping me out. Granted, wait times I would say maybe like 30 minutes to an hour, just guesstimating. But with Speedy Pass, pretty much all the rides you just walk right on, which is really nice. And since I'm only here for like one day, I wanted to maximize the amount of time I have in this park. Get as many rides in as I can before I head out. I do have, I think, 2 more rides left to do. The La Jungala, which is a knockoff Jungle Cruise, and the Zeppelin ride, which is right here. And then it'll be, the rest will be re-rides, and then I'll probably head out of here. And that's pretty much it.
Estimados visitantes, les recordamos que no está
Well, that was fun. Just did the jungle boat ride. Also, this exit area, there's like no railing, so like any kid could like fall. But yeah, that was so cheesy. I loved it. Most of the animatronics were like had very limited range of motion. Most of them didn't work. The elephant, the trunk had like pieces of its skin missing, so you could see like the wires going down and everything. It was amazing. I absolutely loved it. It was so much cheese. It uses the same ride system as the one, that boat ride that Disneyland Paris has near the Casey Jr. ride, where there's like a cable that runs all the way through the ride course, and the boats just kind of hook up to that. So it's like almost like an omni mover, where all the boats travel at the same speed on one cable, kind of like a cable car sort of, but for boats. But yeah, I loved it. And there are a lot of like Jungle Cruise scenes that are basically rip-offs. Like they had the one where they had like the scientist climbing up a tree and the rhino behind them, you know, about to poke his butt, stuff like that. It's amazing. I love it. Audio was terrible, so it's like a lot of moments you'll hear like some like monkey noises, and then other times you just pass by silence, you know. But yeah, that was incredible. I love how cheesy it is. So that was La Jungala. Incredible ride. The theming is pretty nice though. I did like you know, seeing some of the village huts and stuff like that. But yeah, I love it. I love this. I love that ride. Alright, just got off the Zeppelin ride. Pretty nice, very relaxing, very chillaxing. Gives you a nice tour around the, like, I guess if that's north, the west side of the park. Sorry, the east side of the park. Yeah, that is north. And pretty relaxing. One interesting thing was, as we were dispatching and leaving the station, the ride op was checking all the doors while the vehicle was in motion. So I thought that was pretty funny. I guess it helps with the capacity, you know, in terms of she doesn't have to check it while and then dispatch it. She can dispatch and then check it while it's leaving. Which is, I wonder what would happen if one of the doors wasn't locked as it's moving. You know, I guess she'll have to run and hit the e-stop or something. I don't know. But yeah, fun ride. I also got off the TNT coaster. Sat in the back this time. That's a good ride. Very, very nice and fun. I love the you get a little bit of floater air, more like Expedition Everest sort of kind of floater air on it. It doesn't really go backwards or anything like that, or launches like Fire Chaser Express does in Dollywood. But overall, pretty fun ride. One thing that sucks is for the Speedy Pass for that ride, they load up all the regular standby queue. Then after that, they send in the Speedy Pass. So it's like if they see like 2 people waiting in line for the Speedy Pass / like, you know, handicap entrance, they will leave out like 2 rows, and then you go and fill in those rows, whatever is left over basically. So you never get the front row on that ride. This is nice. I love this little walkway they have here. I would love if they actually had the fountains going, because that would be awesome. Walking through here with the fountains. Because I think that's their signature, like the fountains in this area. But overall, this is pretty nice. It looks like that. I think that might be a fog machine or something. But yeah, they have I think they were doing some work in the fountain, so I'm not sure what's going on with it. Shame it's not working though. Anyway, I pretty much did everything I wanted to do. Now it's down to the re-rides. So probably gonna do the drop tower, do Abismo, do Tornado. I think that might be it. So yeah, overall very fun, very good day, very relaxing day. This breeze is the best. This breeze is what really makes this park incredible, you know. But yeah. So I just got off a back row ride of Tornado. Felt smoother than the front, but granted, maybe I was prepared for the roughness. Not as much head banging in the front and in the back that there was in the front. Fun ride though. Also, the exit's really weird. Feels like we're walking on a catwalk area, kind of like a maintenance thing. But overall, fun ride. It felt, I don't know why it feels so much smoother in the back than it does in the front. You know, weird. But yeah, it doesn't really do much. You know, 2 vertical loops, a corkscrew, helix, a couple overbank turns, and that's pretty much it. You know, I was hoping that it might have a inline twist, sort of similar to like Volcano at King's Dominion, which I haven't been on. First time I went to that park, it was like the year they announced that it was closing, so I didn't get to ride. But yeah, I would have liked to try out a Intamin with the inline twist or a Heartline. It would be interesting. So just got off another front row ride on Abismo, and it's awesome. I love this ride. Front row ride, I believe, is the way to go. You get more ejector air on the left hill, on the airtime hill right there, and then you get some good floater coming back into the station on that hill. Also, I'm not a big fan of hang time, so the back, I feel like the hang time is worse than the front, which is kind of weird. I don't know. But yeah, fun ride. It's short. It's a good one. But I don't know if I had to come back. I might come back to this park. I'm not sure yet. I don't know if Tornado and this are that good. Also, one interesting thing about this ride-op for Abismo right now is that, like, after everyone gets off, he like stays in his control booth for like a minute or so before he actually comes out and lets people on. So it's like you got like a minute or two before, like, where the train's just sitting there, nobody around. Very weird. I don't know why he does that, unless maybe he's waiting for everyone to get out of the exit queue area. I'm not sure. Oh yeah, and one more interesting thing about this park is I went to the gift shop and they had a lot of like generic merchandise, which makes sense. You know, they had a lot of like Harry Potter stuff, Game of Thrones stuff. They have posters for like Stranger Things, posters for Attack on Titan. Found that interesting. And not too many park specific stuff. I think I saw a t-shirt I may get. And I didn't see any magnets except for the personalized ones. But yeah.
Le recordamos la obligatoriedad del uso de las mascarillas en la habilitación y los espacios donde no puedan mantenerse la distancia. Igualmente, recordamos la importancia de la desinfección de manos y del uso de gel hidroalcohólico.
All right, finished up with the park. Did some shopping. They had a cool deal where if you buy 2 magnets, you get 1 free. And I did not know that, so the merchandise person was like, "Oh, you could get another magnet for free." And I'm like, "Heck yeah!" They also had a deal where if you buy 1 shirt, you can get the second shirt for 60% off. So, but I didn't see any other shirt I wanted. Everything else in there is pretty generic, so I was like, I'm okay with that. So overall, this park is nice. There's some areas where, like, their operations could use some help. But, you know, with what they have, it's not terrible. But it's not the best either. You know. There are some areas where like the grass isn't cut at all, so it was really weird. One interesting thing is that in Spain I've noticed a lot of people smoke here, but in the park I barely see many. They have smoking areas, so a lot of them originate over there. But like, I did see them enforce it. So I saw some guy smoking, and one of the employees was like, "Hey, you can't smoke here." The guy was so confused. It was pretty funny. I love the Nickelodeon area. It looks really nice. I love the SpongeBob. Overall, nice park. I don't know if I like Abismo enough to come back, because it is a fun ride. Like Abismo, the TNT Mine Train, and Tornado are like their best coasters here. But they are really fun. I do like them a lot. But I don't know if I would pay full price to come back again unless they add something new. You know. But overall, I am really glad I came to this park. Did everything I wanted to do. And now I'm heading out right before dinner time. So that's nice. I have to admit, the area right behind, like, whatever this building is, I think it's a show. But I don't think they're doing any shows there. Oh wait, I think I hear, like, announcements for some, like, what's it called? I can't remember the name. Dancing Queen show kind of thing. But this area back here, there's really nothing back here besides like the picnic area and the area behind the show, that big theater. So I think like this area really reminds me of like SeaWorld, right by like Shamu Theater and the Dolphin Theater stuff. But yeah, very nice park, very chill. They're very relaxed here if you're just like here to ride a couple rides and head out. But yeah, great park. I love it. I had a much better time than I expected to have here. I was expecting they having like really terrible operations, smokers everywhere, you know, kids jumping in line. But there wasn't too many of that. So overall, I really enjoyed my visit here. So that's it. Tomorrow, I should be heading over to Parque Warner, which is a more themed park than this, but I think it's the same company as this park. So that'll be interesting because the website looks exactly the same, but their skip the line passes are named differently. Here it's called Speedy Pass, and over there it's called Fast Pass. But yeah, okay, bye. And that'll do it for this park. See you later, Parque De Atracciones de Madrid. Also, this is what I was talking about, like right outside the entrance, the back entrance to the train station over here. It looks very like deserted and abandoned. It looks so weird. But yeah, awesome park. I really enjoyed myself here. I'll probably come back. Definitely I would come back if they had something new. But yeah, later.